In this video, I will show you the simplest strategy which has attained me over 7 figures in funding with consistent monthly payouts. You'll get the exact 4-step system, but the best part will be at the end where we'll go over real trade examples, so no capping. Let's get straight into business. So for our buys, we look for a sweep of a previous day's high or low and then a close back inside of previous candles range. This signifies to us that price is ready to expand. On the right hand side, you can see a bearish example. We sweep previous day's high, close back inside of previous candles its range, and so we anticipate the next candle to be a expanding one. But we don't just blindly trade our buys, we wait for a H1 breaker pattern to confirm our sentiment, which is nothing more than a sweep into displacement on the opposite direction, indicating to us that the reversal has been set, and then we simply wait for a retest, and we zoom into that retest and we look on the M5 for another breaker pattern, but this time inside of our key trading hours, which are 2 to 5 a.m. and 7 to 10 a.m. New York time. Last but not least, we set our limit on the breaker, our stop on the high or the low, and we target 2RR. It's that simple. Let's do a quick recap. We wait for a sweep of daily liquidity and a close back inside of previous candle's range. Then we anticipate the next candle to expand. We don't just blindly trade that. We wait for a breaker pattern and a retracement into that breaker pattern on the H1 time frame. And then we zoom into the M5 inside of our trading hours and then we execute. Let's get it, man. In this example right here, you can see that we have taken significant liquidity at the highs and then we have taken previous day's high and closed back inside of the range. We zoom into the hourly and we can identify our breaker by looking at the last up move before the down move, which is this right here. So that becomes our breaker. And then we simply look for a retracement towards the breaker inside of our key hours with our entry validation. So 2 a.m. our key hours start. Let's zoom into the 5-minute and look if we can spot a breaker pattern before our trading hours. Yes, we can spot that right here. Then you simply put your limit at the breaker, stop at the high, and we target 2RR. That is just beautiful. That is just beautiful. Look at that. And it just doesn't stop. So if you just simply stuck to this model, you could have caught yourself a 15RR. First trade example. Let's get to the next one. In our next example, we can clearly see that the market is trending down and we have just swept the previous day's high right here. And if we look closely, we can see that we have closed back inside of the range. Why? Because this rectangle right here is the range. Are we inside of it? Yes, sir. So we zoom into the hourly. And if we zoom into the hourly, we want to identify our last low that has caused the up move. And then we are going to mark our breaker right there. So we mark our breaker, beautiful blue line. And then let's play price forward until we close under it. So our breaker has been validated right here. And then we zoom into the M5 and we want to look for our entry pattern inside of our trading hour. So let me delineate 2 to 5. And we will simply look for a retest of this breaker in 2 to 5 and look if we can trade that. Now this is going extremely slow, but this right here is our breaker pattern. So we have a sweep of a high, and then we have a closure back under this low, and this will be our breaker pattern right here. So we set our limit on the breaker, stop on the high, and we target 2RR. Let's see what happens. So we get tapped in right here. London session ends right here, and we can just continue trading it. So let's delineate New York session right here. So New York session starts at 7 until 10. That's where we also look for our snipe. So we want to see a breaker pattern occur before New York session. And we have that too. If you look closely, this is a low that created this high. So we have a high, low, higher high, lower low. So then we can set our limit at 7 a.m. around the breaker. But in this case, we don't need to set our limit on the breaker because we are already above it. So you can mark execute on this candle closure when the next candle opens. Stop above previous high right here, and then you target 2RR. But in this case, we have our first trade set up right here, so we can target that one's 2RR. Let me just skip price forward, or else we're here until tomorrow. And as you guys can see, price beautifully finished its delivery to 2RR, and we could have even closed it at the end of the day, which would have delivered us a beautiful 5.3RR. Let's get it, man. This is just art, y'all. Witnessing an artist at work right here. You already know how I'm rocking. This next example will be a special one where I'll even explain how you can catch the candle before it even closes. So let's play price forward. The next daily candle starts right here and it sweeps previous day's high. And we are going to anticipate that this candle is going to fall back down and close inside of the range. So how do we know that? We zoom into the hourly. We want to see the sweep get confirmed by our H1 breaker pattern, which I've already told you about. So what would indicate to us that the breaker has been set? A closure under this low right here. If we play price forward, we want to see a closure under that, which we get right here. And then we want to see a retest inside of our key hours. Now let's play price forward to our trading hours, which is 2 to 5 a.m. As our trading session starts, we want to see a M5 unicorn. Do we see that? No, we don't, but I'm going to give you some advanced sauce. You can see a SMT right here between EU and GU. SMT is nothing but a cracking correlation. So then this becomes our new unicorn. Why? Because GU makes a unicorn at that pattern, at that closure right there. indicating to us that EU won't need to make a new one, and I explained these advanced concepts in my mentorship. But otherwise, if you didn't notice, you would have missed the trade. So if we set our limit at 2 a.m. at the closure, you would see the price instantly retests the failure swing right here and delivers a beautiful 2RR from the breaker. Like, you are witnessing a artist at work. So during London session, you could have caught yourself a 6.85 RR trade. And now let's see if this exact same model also delivered a trade during New York session. So our times are from 7 to 10, which is in between these two vertical lines. Now pay close attention. Our narrative still remains. Why? We have this breaker and we are anticipating a reaction from the breaker down. So don't get confused as to why we are trading it again, because our narrative still remains. So then we can look for another trade. We are not yet in New York session. Let me play price forward. This right here is New York session. So we want to see some kind of retracement to then continue the move downwards. If you look closely right here, we have almost created the breaker pattern. Why? Because this is the last high that created this low. So let's hope that we close under here right now. And I don't even know if we will. We do. So then we will set our limit right here. Stop on the high. Target 2RR. And unfortunately, we did not get tagged into this trade. But if you master this trade, you could even enter, for example, when we close under this right here. And this will be your entry right there. But there's some advanced sauce. I just want to show y'all another trade. I was actually going to show you only this one, but I just anticipated there to be another trade right here, which it did. That's how easy trading is. Like, it's just a cheat code. You can see it right here. We have a sweep of this high, closure under here. We anticipate price to go down. We wait for our entry confirmation during our key times, and that's how simple it is. And if we zoom out to the daily, we can beautifully see how we have predicted the next daily candle with just a simple sweep and a simple H1 breaker pattern. We have our next example, which will be an advanced one. Why? Because we sweep both the high and the low. But our narrative creation will indicate to us which side price wants to go. So pay close attention. I'm going to zoom in right now, and the rectangle that you see right here is the previous day's high and low. So the previous day's range. We have closed back inside of the range, but we do not know if we are going to go up or down. So we simply wait for a H1 breaker pattern to occur. Now let's play price forward. And we have closing out of the daily range. So this right here becomes our breaker pattern. And if we mark out the previous low, why is this our breaker pattern? Because we have a sweep into displacement, closing above here. And now we are going to look for a retest of the breaker. Do we get that? Yes, we get that right here. And then if we zoom in, we want to see a unicorn pattern occur inside of our key hours. Well, you can see it occurred at 10 a.m., which is outside of our trading hours. So we would not take this. And I want to show you why it is good that we didn't take it, because volatility basically dries up at the end of the day. And let's see if this played out. I can see that it did not play out. And you can see that it's a very dry day. Well, end of day. Then we simply just wait for the next day. And I want to show you guys the next daily candle. So you can see that we sweep this low and then we close back above. Now, if you imagine these two daily candles to be one, then it would be a candle like this. So we open up, we sweep down, and we close back up. Now, this is some advanced concepts which you can use to build your narrative. So now we see that we have swept this low, closed above it, created a breaker pattern. So we anticipate the next candle to be also a bullish one like this. So what do? We zoom back into the chart. I've just played price forward to London session, and we want to see our entry pattern occur during these times. Now we retest the breaker right here, and now we want to see a unicorn pattern happening. So we sweep this low, and now we want a closure above this high. We get our closure right there, and you instantly set your limit. And in some scenarios, you can even instantly market execute if you're afraid of it going away. But my data tells me that I can just set my limit and be patient. We target 2RR. Let's play price forward. Price ends up being slow, but it eventually hits our TP. And this example proved to you how you can prevent unnecessary losses outside of our trading hours and how we can capitalize on advanced narrative creation. Man, I know y'all don't want me to go, but this is the last example. But it's alright. I got a lot of videos which you can watch. So we sweep this low. Do we close back inside of the range? Yes, Oscay, we close back inside of the range. Alright, good job. Why? Because this is the range and we close back inside of it. So now we can anticipate the next candle to be an open, low, high, close. Correct? Correct. Now let's zoom into the hourly, and can we spot our breaker pattern? Yes, we can. This is the last high that created the down move. So let's just mark that out. If we play price back, we can see that our buys got confirmed at 11 a.m. That's not our trading hours. Now, London open kill zone starts right there. And we want to see if we can spot our entry confirmation. Now, this is a unicorn because we sweep this low. We close back above this high. And then we set our limit right here. And we aim for 2RR. But now, unfortunately, this trade did not play out, but it is still a valid one. Hence why I wanted to show this to you in this video right here, because there is no 100% win ratio. And if someone claims that, they're capping. And if you look at GU right here, you can see that GU already reached our targets. So we could even break even early to prevent a unnecessary loss, as EU was extremely weak in this certain scenario. But those are some advanced concepts from my mentorships, which I do not publicly teach, but that's how you could have prevented your loss. Just take that little gem. Now let's go to New York kill zone and let's see if we get our entry pattern again. Now this is the last low. Excuse me, it isn't, because this candle just opened up. So this is the last low. And then we have our high right here, and we want to see a closure above that to confirm our M5 breaker pattern. Now if we zoom out, we can still see that our narrative remains the same. Why? Because we are still inside of this breaker pattern right here. So we can still look for our longs to continue price upwards. Now our breaker pattern gets validated right here, but you can see that it does not close above it, but on another broker it does. So this chart has a different price feed, unfortunately. We'll still put our limit right there and aim for a 2RR, which it beautifully delivers. Like, this is just a piece of art, and let's see how much RR it delivers at the end. Just beautiful. 4.56 RR. This is just some artwork. You already know how I'm rocking. Thanks for watching, y'all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to learn from me, check the links in the bio, and you will see another video on this model on your screen right now. Watch that if you want. Peace.